I'm working on the removal of the heat exchanger, and one of the things I need to do is to disconnect the salt water intake or the raw water intake. But when I got down here and looked at the hose from the seacock, which comes to the raw water pump, which is this one, which has actually been replaced recently, and that's a good thing, I guess. But I looked at these hose clamps, and the first one is okay. It's mounted perfectly. It's really on there, and it's a really wide hose clamp. So wide, in fact, that the next hose clamp that I've put on for good measure, I guess. It's very common to use two hose clamps on the hoses that goes to the seacocks and stuff, because if one fails, the other one will perhaps keep the hose in this place anyway. So that's a good safety measure. But if you're gonna do it, you need to have space for two hose clamps, and in this case, the end of the hose barb on this raw water pump is right in front of this pump, in front of this hose clamp. So it's actually just tightening the hose outside of the hose barb. So, and that is quite a big stress point. So this would fail. But for now, I just wanted to show you this, because this is a bit stupid. Now I'm gonna crawl into the engine bay again and close the seacock. So here we have the old seacock. Well, this is a weird thing. It seemed to work. So now it's gone in a bit, and I don't know. I hope it's closed now. So now we're gonna disconnect the hose from the heat exchanger, and we're gonna check if there is still water coming out. So this is the one. Undoing the hose clamp. I have to hold the camera with my hand because I don't have any place to mount it, like so. So now the hose clamp is loose, and also you can wiggle off the rubber hose. So it came off really easy. So now I think I'm gonna take off the alternator belt so I can move this this rubber hose about, so I can see how far down I need to move it before the water is spilling out. So, and then I will know if there is water flowing through the system still in a controlled manner. One. That's two. We call that secure. The next thing is to remove the exhaust hose from the heat exchanger. This exhaust hose is not in good condition, and it's going to need to be replaced sooner or later. So I will have to replace this the exhaust hose. The silencer seems to be in good order though. It's a Vetus silencer, I think. That seems to be in good nick. I just have to relocate it a little bit because I'm not super happy with the way it's mounted. So I guess I'm going to keep that one. But however, I'm a bit reluctant to just go ahead and replace these things because I am considering swapping out this engine, because I have another boat which I'm gonna, when this boat is ready, I'm not gonna use that boat anymore. And I am considering taking the engine from that boat because that's a brand new Beta Marine engine. And I'm really happy with the Beta Marine engine. It's a real good engine, and this is really on there. So what can you expect? Yes, I could just cut it, but then I would have to replace it, but it looks like I'm gonna have to replace it anyway. There we go. Yeah. Like so. That was a bit more stiff. The exhaust elbow looks to be in good condition on the outside at least. So yeah, so far so good. So now the next thing to remove is the main hoses from the freshwater part of the cooling system between the engine and the heat exchanger. So this one goes from the water pump, and this one from the thermostat housing. So I'm gonna undo them both on the engine side because that seems to be the easiest way. And also I need to undo this one. That seems to be too far gone for me to try it, so I'm just gonna let the whole hose for the expansion canister come along with it. So this is the lower one, the cold part of the cooling system. Of course I dropped the screwdriver all the way down there, so then this hose clamp is off. Next one is going to be this one. If you widen out the hose clamp so much, you can remove it from the area where the hose barb is, and you know it's enough. So these two should come off quite easily when I get to remove the complete heat exchanger. And to do that I have to undo the throttle cable which is this one. I will just undo these two screws because I don't want to mess up the adjustments of it, which is kind of here. And I also have to undo the fastening for a bracket that holds the diesel filter down here, I think. So, and there's these two bolts, and these two bolts, and it should all be loose. But I have to undo this bolt and this bolt to free up the diesel filter from this bracket that's mounted on the underside. So the heat exchanger has come off the engine. Tried to shoot that in a time lapse. Went fairly smooth. The radiator, or the rubber hoses between the heat exchanger and the water pump was a bit stuck, but otherwise I think it went rather smoothly.